Hello students, I hope the previous two videos which I have sent to you regarding the first chapter of your class 11, you have gone through them well, and also you have gone through your NCERT book. So in the previous video, the last one, in which we have studied about the taxonomical hierarchy, there we have come to know that an organism is classified depending upon the various characteristics, and each step of such classification or each category of that classification was known as your rank or that of your taxa. Today what we are going to study is about your taxonomical aids. Now see, taxonomical studies are very important. The reason is because if we want to improve any kind of plant variety or any kind of animal stock, we should have a proper knowledge of that organism, its ancestors, how this organism's present day forms which we are seeing must have come from its ancestors. All this knowledge must be with us perfectly, and for this the taxonomical aids play a major role. Now there are various kinds of taxonomical aids which we will be studying today, which we will be of course categorizing them into the living and the non-living forms, and here we will come to know that how this taxonomical aids will improve or will help us to know perfectly about an organism, and also to do some kinds of research oriented work, because if in the research oriented work you are working with an organism and you do not know the perfect position of that organism or perfect identifying features of that organism or even the name of the organism, you cannot publish your work in a proper international journal. And if your work is not published in a international journal which is universally accepted, in that case your work will not be recognized. So that is the reason why the branch of biology which is called taxonomy is so important, and to have a proper idea of the taxonomical aids are very important. So today's class is dealing with that of the taxonomical aids, which we are now going to discuss one after another. Now, to identify an organism or to give it a perfect place in the ecological niche to an organism, we need some taxonomical aids. Now these taxonomical aids are what? These are the helping tools which will be helping us to identify an organism, be it a plant or be it an animal, to give it a perfect place in the in our that is your ecosystem, in our ecological niche. We need these taxonomical aids. Now taxonomical aids can be living, taxonomical aids can be non-living. Now if we categorize it that way, in case of the taxonomical aids which are living, what are they? Now this will include your botanical gardens. It will include your botanical gardens. What are these botanical gardens? These are the places, the large areas which includes a live specimen, especially the plants which are growing in their natural habitat, and by seeing them, they are preserved there, they are protected there, and by seeing them and comparing them with the kind of specimen which we have found, and then we can identify to which category it belongs to, means what is its division, what is its class, what is its family, what is its order, genus, and all those things. So when we are taking the help of a live specimen, botanical gardens play a major role in that. One of the famous or the popular botanical garden in India is the Shibpur Botanical Garden, which is in Howrah. So that is you can see the renowned botanical garden of India, and the Royal Botanical Garden in Kew in London, that is the International Botanical Garden. Similarly, along with that of the botanical garden, zoological parks are also the protected areas, but in these places, these are popularly called as zoo, and these are the places in which the animals are kept in captivity. They are mainly meant for entertainment purpose, and also sometimes breeding is done in captivity, especially for the children who come and enjoy and see these animals, because all the animals in every country is not found. So sometimes we are collecting animals from the different places, different countries, and then we are putting them in cage, of course with providing them with all the natural conditions whatever is possible, and then studying about them. So these are also a tool, a taxonomical tool, or you can say the taxonomical aids, which will be helping us to know about the organism. National parks, sanctuaries, these are also the protected areas, protected by law, of course, where the hunting, where the very least human activities are allowed, and where we can just go and see the plants or the animals growing in their natural conditions. So these are the living, you can say, the taxonomical aids or the tools which help us to identify or classify an organism in its natural surroundings. The next category of the taxonomical aids will include the non-living, that is your tools. Now what are they? Herbarium. Now herbarium is a place where the plant specimens are kept in their dried or semi-dried condition, or even if they are kept in if not in dried conditions, some things like that of the fungal specimen, they are kept in jar in formalin. So in liquid solution they are kept over there, so that they are not damaged. And there are various chemical substances which are regularly sprayed in the herbarium, so that the insects or the fungal attack does not damages the specimens which are in the dried condition. Care is taken so that the parts of the plants are not damaged. That means the leaves, the fruits and the flowers, which is the most identifying, which is the crucial, you can say, element in the identification of any kind of family. So that is kept into consideration. So what are they? For example, the chemical substances like your mercury chloride, 2% of mercury chloride, then that of your carbon disulfide, then DDT. These things are sprayed over there regularly, so that the insects do not damage the herbarium sheets. The specimens are sun dried. Sometimes moisture controlling systems are there inside the herbarium, so that the plant specimens which are kept there are kept in a right condition. Along with that of the herbarium sheets are mentioned about the name of the person who has collected it, the date of collection, the place, the locality from where it has been collected, and also the name of the organism which has been found. So this is quite beneficial for knowing for the future identification of any organism if it is found by some other person. Besides this, that is your herbarium, another non-living taxonomical aid is that of your museum. Now museums are the place, especially I am talking about the museums which is related to the identification of the living organisms. This includes the specimens which are kept in a condition that it looks original. Sometimes the skeleton of the specimen is kept, sometimes the internal visceral organs are taken out and it is stuffed with that of straw or some other materials, and then it is again made in such a manner that it appears to be the original one. So mostly the animal specimens, sometimes insects like that of your butterflies, they are poisoned and they are kept in some boxes for the display for the people who are interested to work upon this kind of organisms. So museums also play a major role in identification or in the classification of an organisms if something unknown is known, and we can compare it with that of the organisms kept over there in the museum. So these are the various taxonomical aids which help us in the identification of an organism. Besides this, there should be some manuscripts, there should be some written documents depending upon which we will be identifying the organisms. Now there are various ways by which the plant specimens were being identified by the various scientists. The artificial system of classification by Linnaeus, then the natural system of classification by Bentham and Hooker, phylogenetic system of classification by Engler and Prandtl. But till date, the Bentham and Hooker system of classification is much in use. The reason is because they use a dichotomous way of classifying an organism by accepting one property of an organism and rejecting one. So this system of identification is known as your key. So key is you can say a kind of taxonomical aid which helps in classification of an organism depending upon the two contrasting characters, acceptance of one and rejection of another. Now these two contrasting features which are found in a key with respect to any particular taxon or with respect to any particular rank is known as your couplet, because it is in the form of two, and each statement of this couplet is known as lead. Suppose the characteristic which is written over there, is the flower red? If yes, go to point 3, if no, go to point 4. So here you are getting an option. So when this kind of flower is red or green, so flower is red is one sentence and flower is green is another sentence. So here we are getting two statements, two contrasting statements. So this two contrasting statement is known as couplet, and each statement of this couplet is known as your lead. So this is how the that is your identification of the plant specimens are done. Besides, there are journals, there are manuals, monographs also, which acts as a taxonomical aid. So with this we had done the first chapter, that is a living world, the various that is your things which are discussed, that is how the classification, identification, then your nomenclature is done, then what is taxonomical hierarchy, what are the various ranks or the categories of taxonomical hierarchy, then what is taxonomical aid. So this is all about the first chapter. I hope you have understood the chapter well, and you will be going through also the chapter well, so that any difficulty you find, you can just text me or you can contact me.